And how did all of us never heard of this guy? How is that possible?
Yeah, really.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah, I've read literally hundreds of books on psychics and predictions and research for like nearly my entire life, 40 odd years, and I've never heard of this guy.
Wow.
What was his first name? Alois Irlmaier?
Alois Irlmaier.
The German Edgar Casey.
Yeah.
So he gave readings to people, and people would line up at his house, and he would tell them they're like fortune teller type guy.
Yeah. So they were lining up at his house, and I guess the priest at the church nearby got really upset, and he's the one that called the police on him about practicing clairvoyance for money, which I didn't know that. I'm not sure that was, I guess in Germany that was a law. So he was charged, and they had some other charges they brought up against him. And I guess the judge right away was like, well, if you're a clairvoyant, then you can tell me or describe my house. And he said, well, I see your wife having coffee with another man. And the judge got up real mad, and he called home, and his wife was having coffee with another guy. So that got him swayed with the judge. And then he was tested multiple times, and I guess he passed each one. And multiple witnesses came forward and testified that he didn't charge him for their readings, and that he was really good and accurate. So they ended up acquitting him. But I thought that was so cool that Naeem was getting all the legal troubles and had all the fingers pointing at the guy. And I was like, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Well, when we did the Luminosity event, like the new 9/11, and when was that? End of September, early October. And we said, like, don't move out of your house. Like, don't go live in a bunker. But this guy actually went to neighborhoods, said, yeah, that house is going to get bombed.
Yeah.
That house in World War II. I wonder if people like moved out. I wonder if any of them were true.
Yeah.
417 Elm Street. Boom.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. I mean, what we have to go from is that the witness accounts. Like, but in your session, it sounds like it got trumped up, right? What if he said that place is going to get hit and it wasn't? We wouldn't know his accuracy hit rating.
Yeah. Well, you can imagine even if you got one right, I mean, the story would get the whole telephone game and be like, oh yeah, he called every bomb spot. You know what I mean? So It's hard to say.
Yeah, there probably was not a lot of documenting of those kinds of things back then. Not like Edgar Casey. He was really documented and wrote a bunch of books too.
Yeah.
I wonder if he used any protocol. Was he a remote viewer? Did he just go into a trance or?
Dowser.
Yeah, he was listed as being a clairvoyant. So in that day and age, I mean, at best he would have had something going on, like maybe was it Rene Worcallier or something like that.
He was quoted as saying "I see," and then he would describe the vision. So it sounded like he got visuals.
Reading the land and mapping the landscapes.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, man.
No, I was really impressed with every single session you guys did. Oh, Edward, I do have one question for you though. This has happened a couple times. It looks like you do your sessions like where you'll stop and come back later. So the last page and a half that you presented on the screen today, I didn't have it from Asana. So I don't know if Jamie isn't getting them or what, but this has happened a couple times now where I don't get like the 1 or 2 pages of your work. One time really? I had to do a screenshot in while you were presenting it, and I real quickly added something to my feedback slides because I was like, oh, that correlates. But
oh, okay. Yeah. I gotta remember to just email them to you then.
Yeah, especially like when you're done the last one, always make sure you send it to me if you can. That'd be
okay.
I found something in archive on archive.org. I guess this is some of his actual
cool
prophecy there. But yeah, here's the part here. What will cause the war? Everything calls peace. then it will occur. A new Middle East war suddenly flames up. Big naval forces are facing hostility in the Mediterranean. The situation is strained, but the actual firing spark is set on fire in the Balkan. I see a large one falling. A bloody dagger lies beside him. And then a whole bunch of murders occur, and then the war starts. So.
Oh, and one of the preceding things to World War III was a bunch of migrants entering countries. And we're seeing that in Europe and the United States right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much all happening right now.
Yeah, we've got the naval force in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
We sent nuclear submarines and 3 aircraft carriers. I still think an American ship's going to get taken out, and that'll be the precipitating event.
Well, I think the ships were attacked with drone attacks multiple times, weren't they? I thought I was reading the ship out there.
It would
was
have to
getting
be
attacked.
sunk with loss of life.
Yeah, a big attack, a hypersonic missile or something like that, if they have one.
Yeah, pretty troubling.
That's pretty damn accurate.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Good session. Good sessions on Irlmaier.
No, it was a fun one. Thank you, everybody.
Interesting when you learn about someone you've never heard of. You never
heard of it,
even considered. How could all of us not know of a famous psychic that was basically just before our time?
Yeah.
I was
honestly
alive when he was alive.
Can't remember ever hearing him mentioned. And as I said, I've read loads, because Ingo Swann and many others were recording these kind of precogs and psychics for decades, and I just don't think I've ever come across his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's such an uncommon name too.
Yeah.
Were we tasked him because they wanted to know if we pick up the World War III prediction, and were we tasked because he was a precursor to us? Like we're kind of doing what he's doing.
Probably because it was World War III predictions, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would think, those two. But also, when I asked Michael, I said, hey, just curious, like what was significant about this person? Like, why was the team tasked with him? And he said one of the reasons was that we don't dive into people from Europe as often. So he said this was a European clairvoyant.